let's get into the task at hand. A lot of buys this week. Normally, the hardest part of me putting this show together is picking the final two games. Which ones are we going to have to leave out? It was the opposite. Like, which ones are we going to actually have to talk about? But anyways, the Arizona Cardinals, the Detroit Lions, the Jacksonville Jaguars, luckily for our friend Raider Jim, the Raiders, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks, all on buys. So six teams on buys. And then, of course, one of them is a AFC West team with the Raiders. And tomorrow night, or we're recording here Wednesday, the 22nd of October, Thursday Night Football will be the Chargers and Vikings. This will come out after that, so we don't talk about that. So only a couple AFC West teams to talk about. So let's start it off in the NFC East. It's a rematch. Nope, don't rub your eyes together. Don't think you're having a stroke. It is the old NFL player division rival twice in 3 weeks. Maybe with a little extra days because it was a Thursday night game, but a rematch of maybe one of the bigger upsets of the year. The New York Giants heading to Philadelphia to face the Eagles. The Eagles are going to be 7-point favorites here. The over-under is 44. Money line side of things, Giants plus 300, Eagles minus 400. Obviously, I would say the biggest news out of Eagle camp this weekend, besides the win, very good win over the Vikings going on the road. Carson Wentz, I sit here and I go, oh, that's great. And then you watch an entire game of Carson Wentz and you go, oh, that's right. That's Carson Wentz. But I would say one of the bigger stories besides the win is the return of the Graham Sacker, Brandon Graham, coming out of retirement. All he had to do was see his team lose 2 in a row and say, you know what, give me my helmet back. It's time to get out there. I'll be honest, I don't think this is a massive on the field change, but I really, really do think in the locker room, this is going to be great for the Eagles on the defensive side. It was either last week or the week before where I talked about leadership is needed in the defense, and Brandon Graham must have got the bat signal. He is ready to roll. Now, in terms of this game, this is going to be interesting because the Giants, obviously, 10, 14, 18 days ago, whatever it is, this isn't a math podcast. The Giants took care of business, and not only took care of business, but they dominated the Eagles in all facets of the game. I think the Eagles at home, they know they have very little room for error in a very good NFC. They really do need that 1 seed to really feel good about themselves heading into the NFC playoff picture. I think they know they need this win. Again, I don't really bet on my own team, but for the sake of this podcast, I am going to go with the Eagles. I'm going to buy a 0.5 point. Give me the Eagles minus 6.5. I would not be surprised to see the Eagles really come out and dominate. The Giants, obviously, that was... Now, full disclosure, I was visiting my grandmother, so I saw how the Broncos game ended. Broncos-Giants game ended. I did not realize how we got there. I was just kind of like, oh, the Giants made this, they've hung tough. And then you kind of realize after the game, like, oh no, this was a bad one. 33 points in the fourth quarter. Oh my goodness. So I think the Eagles do go out. They take advantage of a bad run game and a terrible passing defense with the Giants. Great pass rush. I get that. But I do think the Eagles take advantage. They really did open the game up. Hopefully everybody is happy now. Everybody can quiet down. Jalen Hurts threw for however many yards he needed to for people to be happy. A.J. Brown got the targets he needed to be happy. Everybody's good, hopefully for a week, and hopefully we can keep this going. In terms of the over-under, I'm going to go with the over. I think the Eagles, this is a game where they really put their foot down and say, we're going to play a complete football game. We're better than this team. We need to prove it. They're going to go out there. I wouldn't be surprised to see this be a 38-10, 38-17 game. I think the Eagles take care of business. And if this is the first time you're listening to me and you're going, oh, Homer Eagle fan, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, go back and listen to the tape. I'm normally very negative when it comes to the Eagles. It's very rare that I come out and say, I think the Eagles are going to cover, especially a spread like this. So just take that for what it is. Raider Jim, your thoughts, Giants heading to Philadelphia.
I'll tell you what, I have never seen a meltdown like I saw in Denver last week, and how that entire staff is still employed.
Unbelievable.
It's wild. 33 points. That's unheard of. I don't know that I've ever seen 33 points scored in one quarter like that. If the line wasn't in favor of the Giants, where it was, they were plus 7.5, 8.5, whatever it was, I'll tell you what, you talk about a game that would have been ripe for looking at going, the fix was in for them to all of a sudden give up that many points. But the Giants, ridiculous. I think that might have been enough to pop the dart and Scatterboo balloon. And they're going to have their feet planted firmly on the ground when they get to Philadelphia. I think the luster is gone now, and they got a lot to go against. -7 for Philadelphia, who, what did Hurts have last week? 326 yards.
Yes.
I believe it was. It was a fantastic game for him. Close game, but fantastic game. And as you said, Carson Wentz, 313 yards. I do have a question for the leader of the Eagles nest over here, and that is, I touched on it last week. I'm going to touch on it again. What's wrong with Saquon?
So I believe it's a lot more to do with the offensive line. Unfortunately, Cam Jurgens has been hurt. Landon Dickerson has been hurt. Going back to, I believe it was the Giants game. It might have been the Denver game, but it was one of the games they lost. When Lane Johnson went out, the whole offense fell apart. So, I watched Saquon, and when he has holes, he's hitting them. Now, we're not looking at 80-yard bursts like he did last year.
Right.
But I really do think that the run or the run blocking, whether it's scheme, I'm not smart enough. I've never been an offensive lineman. If you've seen my frame, you'll definitely understand that. But I really do think it's in the run game. I also don't think they do him any favors. Kevin Patullo has gotten a lot of heat, but it is not a very imaginative offense.
Right.
Even watching the Falcons, the way they get the ball to Bijan Robinson, it's not always, all right, we're just going to run power, or we're just going to run stretch or zone or this or that. They might split him out wide and bring him back into motion or things like that. And it's probably been one of the biggest gripes of Eagle fans has been the lack of motion or pre-snap motion that the Eagles run or don't run, I should say. I'm going to say it is offensive line, but also, I think defenses are saying, look, we're not going to let Saquon Barkley hurt us. And I think the Eagles are reacting to that. I'm not panicked about Saquon because, again, if I really do think if you watch the games, not to be like that guy because I don't watch every game, but if you do kind of see, like, he'll break 5 or 6 yard carries and you get to all 22 and you're going, okay, there's his hole. And then there'll be other ones where it's like, I don't care who you are. You're not going anywhere on that one. So I'm still, the panic button has been put away fully. Not really too worried about Saquon, but the run game overall needs to improve. Everything needs to improve. I think I sent you that. So I put together a little spreadsheet just for myself to kind of see what's going on. And I give every team points for how good they are on different sides of the ball. The Eagles are like 24th statistically in the NFL when you factor all those things in. It's really remarkable how this team is as talented, but they haven't put it together. Again, as I said last week, big difference in the Jets struggling than the Eagles struggling, because again, eventually the talent for the Eagles will pull them out of it. It's just a matter of, when and will it be too late? So final answer, very long answer to say no, not panic.
No, but I like the way you came around and you said it's the running game, because when I look at the game stats last week, Saquon had 44 yards. The entire Eagles running game was 45 yards.
Yeah.
The one that concerns me more than Saquon only getting 44 yards is Ferst being -10. He's usually the guy that picks up your running game. And I think for the Eagles to have real success when it comes playoff time, they got to be balanced on both sides, running and passing, or they're going to, because if they run into a team like the Lions, that's going to be a tough game. But this game against the Giants, -7.5 seems like a bit much. I didn't look up. Let me pull up the weather real quick because I didn't do it earlier like I should have.
Yeah, we're getting to be
Now
that
we're
time of
getting
year.
into that. Yeah.
Yep, exactly. We're getting into that time of year where it's like, hold on.
Philadelphia, slight chance of showers, 16% chance of showers, 56 degrees at kickoff time. Little bit of wind, but nothing that's really going to mess up the field goal game or anything like that. It's just a tough one. I think if the Giants defense comes out and plays as well as they did, if they can force turnovers like they did when they beat the Eagles, it's going to be a much closer game. Give me the Giants +7.5. Doesn't mean they're going to win the game. Means they're going to beat the spread. But the over/under, I think we're going to go under 44.5 in this one. I don't see it being a shootout.
Yeah, and then just going back to the Jalen Hurts thing, the -10 yards. Now, he didn't really, I don't think he ran at all. And the -10, I believe. So the last part of the game, it was kind of that weird, like, there's 6 seconds left between game clock and play clock. So he just kind of had to run around on the last couple plays to just kill some clock. And it wasn't the normal 1 yard quarterback kneel loss, but again, I think it was kind of more of he took what the Vikings gave him, and the Vikings were the first team I think that really spied every single pass play. So, just an idea there. But you're right. Jalen has probably done the heavy lifting on the run side of things.